Hello, Red Wave. Welcome to Where Bulldogs podcast. My name is Caleb Nail. Joining me today, this is going to be a good one, guys. We have Mr. Pletz, part of the CNC Football Factory, and Cole Nail, part of the CNC Basketball Factory. That's actually not the case. It's just the Nail Bros, we could call ourselves, talking basketball. All three of us are here today to talk basketball, football, and baseball. This is a great day. What an occasion. Mr. Pletz, how are you, man?
I'm doing pretty well. It was a nice warm day today, which I enjoyed. I know that there's a lot of rain coming up soon, so hopefully all you farmers are prepared for that, because I hear that too much rain is not always a good thing.
True, but I'm also not going to complain.
Okay.
But get this, Caleb. What's up, Bulldogs Bob? Get this, Caleb. Last year, 2023, the wettest year recorded in the history of California, and we still didn't have enough water. I didn't say that. I mean, that's just what they're saying, but crazy. Cole, how are you, man?
First live, so let's get this rolling for me.
Cole's sweating bullets. He did not want to do this. We forced him to go live, but we're thankful, Cole, that you are live with us right now. Any tips for this guy, Caleb?
I don't think so. Just don't think about the thousands of people that are listening to you. Just be yourself, but also you do have to censor yourself in real time, so that could be a challenge.
Well, I've seen you do this, Caleb, so just saying. Just kidding.
All right. Well, you can tune into all of this on YouTube. If you're listening on the audio version, subscribe. Beware of Bulldogs on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, make sure you are listening on Spotify and iTunes when you get the chance. And you can follow us on X, Beware_Bulldogs, and on Instagram, Beware Bulldogs Podcast. And then you can see all of our X profiles on the bottom there. If you care what any of us have to say on X, we have nothing good to say, though, on there. But we do have a good time over there, so you can follow us over there if you would like. All right, guys. First, we're going to start with, and some people may not like this, but basketball. We have to catch up. We did not talk about the Boise game. I don't know if we want to spend too much time there. I don't know if we want to spend too much time at all talking about basketball, but we are somewhat contractually obligated to talk about basketball. So here we go. Just get basketball over with, Bob says.
Bob, that's why I'm here.
Cole was actually at the Boise game. Cole, tell us about the atmosphere in the Save-Mart Center for this game.
Well, they were giving out a prize to the students every 5 minutes, which sounds like they're giving out a bunch of prizes, but a basketball game goes by pretty fast. But it's still, the student section was pretty packed. And on top of that, for some odd reason, there were actually a lot of people there in general, unless the students were just not sitting in the student section, which is what I would do if I was a student. It's not like they check or anything. So it got really rowdy because we went on a big run in that game, and people were actually, last 2 minutes, we were all standing up on our feet. I couldn't believe it.
No way. Wow.
It was one of the most fun games I've ever been to in the Save-Mart Center. And we lost, but whatever.
So, we don't need to go into the numbers. We can talk numbers around Air Force, but I mean, if anybody watched the game, we had a great comeback, made it a close one, and then Caleb, describe to everyone the last few sequences in that basketball game, and then we'll jump to Air Force.
It just kind of felt like the perfect summation of this team, because they got really hot. I mean, we were down by like 20 points or plus or minus there. Cole, you can correct me on the numbers, but we were on like a 20-something-3 run, and the team was looking good. We were running the zone, and Boise just couldn't figure it out, and they were just shooting bricks. And it was like, okay, like things are actually moving here. And then I don't know, it was like late in the game. I think it was under 2 minutes. We had one possession where we got called for a backcourt violation, which that's brutal. Like, that's like a fifth grade problem, but they're in college trying to figure that out. And then another where I think it was Yap or one of the guards just dribbled it off his knee and just lost it for a turnover, and they had an easy 2 on the other side. So like for those to be like 2 of your final possessions of the game was just kind of like the perfect summation of this team, where they got really hot and then they just blew it just in tremendous fashion.
It was a great game. We held Dagenhart, their stud, to single-digit points, and we were in it. And some of their guys had to step up, but then they, obviously stepped up and whooped us.
But hey, to play Boise tight, I guess that's okay. Moving on to, was it last night's game or was it Saturday night's game?
Saturday
night's game against Air Force. We beat Air Force 84-70, 14-point win. Just quick numbers here. Enoch Boyachi led the team with 19. Xavier Dussel had 15. Jalen Weaver had 14. Isaiah Pope had 13. And Isaiah Hill had 11. Yap off the bench had 8. And Leo Colomario had 4 off the bench. Isaiah Hill did have a double-double with adding 10 assists. And Enoch had a double-double with 10 rebounds. I watched the first half of this game, and I was surprised that we won by 14 points. I missed the best part of this game because we came out, and things may have changed, but this is just what happened. This is what I saw. We came out against the Air Force team that's very good at shooting, not athletic enough to beat us man-to-man. We came out in a zone, probably because it was successful against Boise, and they just lit up the scoreboard from the three-point line. Big surprise. And they were in this game. They're beating us for a while. And I think, were we losing by 4 at halftime? We may have been. And it was just very frustrating the entire game because we were clearly the better team, better basketball players. This is a team that we should beat. We did by 14, thank goodness. But to come out like that, you just can't do that. Come out against Boise, go down by 20. And I didn't see the Boise game, but knowing Rice and Dagenhart, we're more athletic than those guys. There's no reason that we shouldn't be playing man on those guys. I understand the zone was successful, though, against them. But against Air Force, why do we do this, guys? I don't know. Tell me what you guys thought about this game. I'm really happy we got the win, the 14-point win, big win. But other than that, what I saw, it's worrisome, like a lot of the games.
Yeah, it was so annoying. So their 2 best shooters, one is shooting 48% going into the game, shooting 48% from 3 on the season. Another one's shooting 43% from 3 on the season. And we decided to zone them. 2-3 zone them. And these Air Force guys that aren't athletic, super smart. You think they're going to be able to break the zone? Yeah, they are. They're going to swing the ball really well and hit wide open shots. It was complete stupidity. But sorry, is that inappropriate, Caleb Pletz?
No, you're good.
No, but second half, Caleb Nail. We were giving them different looks. We were still running our 2-3 zone, but I think we were playing it a little higher, and we were also giving them man looks. And for some reason, Air Force couldn't figure it out. That their ball movement and everything, they were trying to drive into the zone. It in the second half, they just weren't analyzing it correctly, and it made us look great. So luckily, I don't know how long you want to talk about this. Dussel, Pope, I think Yap had one. Weaver even hit a 3. We went 40. Both teams, I think, went 44% from 3 this game. And I guess not luckily, but finally our shooters were on, which kept us in this game. Well, helped us win this game. But without that, if we weren't shooting that well, it would have been a long night.
So I'll just ask you a couple questions as like a fan that kind of follows this team. I mean, is it normal for Ducell to throw up 11 threes in a game and also not attempt a 2-point field goal, just only shooting threes?
Yeah, Caleb and I have been talking about it all year. He's one-dimensional, which, yeah, it doesn't make sense why Air Force was just letting him shoot the three. But whatever works, hey. Yeah, that's pretty normal.
Okay.
Maybe
And
not
then
11, maybe like 8 or 9, but
okay. And then Enoch, like what's up with this guy? I mean, he puts up 19 this game, and then like the previous 2 or 3 games, I mean, he's like single digits or like 0. Like where's that offense coming from?
well, I mean, the last 2 games even, he's been playing way above the rim, Enoch, and he's gotten a lot better. He really has. But he matched up really well against Boise and especially against Air Force. Air Force was a really small team. Enoch's massive, and he can jump out of the gym. So I think it makes sense for him to do that. Now, yeah, I guess we say he's getting better. I hope he's getting better because he did have 2 good matchups. We'll see. Are we playing UNLV next? They're a little more athletic, I think. So
Yeah,
we
had their number last year.
Sorry?
Yeah, we had their number last year, and I think there's no reason we can't play with them. I do think we do. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Is there something up with Andre? I mean, only 11 minutes and no points, 1 rebound in this game. Is he hurt, or that's just Enoch is taking over all the minutes?
I think Enoch was taking over the minutes, and Andre didn't really. The game was really fast paced, and Andre's kind of a half court, slow paced guy. So
play on the
I actually really like. It's about time that he got below 20 minutes or 11 minutes, right around 10 minutes. I think is what he should be getting. So.
Interesting.
And that was replaced. Weaver got a lot of playing time. He was playing really well. Given I still think Weaver and Yap didn't play enough this game. They both had, I believe, 16 minutes, where Isaiah Hill played the whole game, all 40 minutes. So, which I don't think he should have, which I've expressed in the last podcast. So, anyways,
is that?
Yeah. Oh. Isaiah Hill did not like that, so he kicks out the wrong Nail brother.
What's happening, Fletz?
We got too many guys with G5 Wi-Fi on this stream.
Oh man!
Sorry, everybody. All right, are we back in business?
Yes,
I believe so.
Okay. I was going to say I appreciate the minutes going to Weaver in this game because he has been buying his time. Whenever he's in, we go on runs. I'm excited to see him and Enoch have success. And hopefully we can start stacking some wins. I will say 76% from the free throw line, better. That's better. We forced 10 turnovers. We 30 points in the paint. I like that. But we should just dominate Air Force. We should always dominate Air Force. And the fact that they blew out UNLV gives me hope going into this next game. So come on, dogs.
Back to the minutes thing. We did see Tavares for 2 minutes.
Yes.
And he missed a wide open layup. But to his
All right,
credit, he got the steal to get it.
So Tavares, I think, is the only freshman on the team, correct, Cole?
At least that plays.
Okay, so is there any chance after this season that he's still on this team? Because obviously we're assuming Hut's going to be done after this season. So I'm assuming most of the guys are going to leave, but is there any chance that he sticks around and maybe he's the future of the Bulldogs?
Gosh. I don't want to say anything bad. Dude, that just totally depends on the coach we hire.
Okay.
And I don't think we have the money to hire someone good enough to keep Tavares around because if any coaches have been watching the Mountain West and specifically Fresno State, they know there's unlimited potential with Tavares, and they're going to snatch him up.
Well, I'll tell you what, when Quincy Pondexter gets hired as the coach here, every player will stay. That will happen.
That would be huge, and everybody needs to start donating to Fresno State Bulldog Foundation, the Bulldog Red, to make that happen.
We're going to need a couple more donations from the Carr family if we want that to happen.
Paul George. We got with George.
Yeah, there you go. We Paul George, Devontae.
People show up to the games first, okay?
That's true too. Well, I think it's going to be interesting to see what direction this basketball team takes going into this next game, because the last two times when we played Wyoming and then San Jose State, we had the opportunity to take a step up. We did not. Now we beat Air Force, have an opportunity to beat UNLV. Let's see what we can do. Because then we have Colorado State on Saturday, and that's going to be a tough one. I will say Colorado State's a lot of fun to watch, though. Most teams in the Mountain West are. We get to watch some good ball players. All right, let's talk about. Is that it for basketball? Are we done?
We are the best of the losing teams, losing records. Mountain West, we're the best out of the three that have losing records. So we're the best of something.
Yeah, my closing point was similar. That win kept us out from the cellar of the conference. So that was good. Get the second conference win, and we'll let San Jose and Air Force fight for that bottom seed.
I see Andrew's here. What's up, Andrew? And Bob says, yeah, Paul George and Orlando and Aaron Judge and Taylor Ward, they can take care of their sports. I agree. And they should. All right, let's talk about football really quick, and then we're going to get into baseball. Quickly, by the way, Jackson Moore is lined up to come on next week. So we will talk about the recruiting class and some things with Jackson next week. So we can look forward to that. Quickly, I want to just touch on the guys playing in these all-star games, quote, all-star games. One being Lavelle Bailey in the Shrine Bowl. I think it's good. I think it's good for players to get out, meet other players, get some work in. And I think Lavelle will show people he's a legit linebacker. And then our other player is Carlton Johnson. Carlton Johnson is playing in the Senior Bowl, which is huge. That's really, I love the Senior Bowl. I watch the Senior Bowl every year. There's a lot of festivities that go on around it. I'm really excited for Carlton. And I think there's a lot of people that don't know how good he is. What are your thoughts on?
I think that there's a chance that Carlton is the next Deron Bland. Just a guy that maybe even Fresno State fans didn't, appreciate, his potential. And I think him getting the opportunity at the Senior Bowl is huge, and getting some tape live in front of scouts is going to be big. And, hopefully he gets a shot at a roster, because, I think he has the size that can work as a cornerback. So I think he's at least 6 foot. So, you don't see a lot of, smaller corners, at least in the NFL. So I think he's got the size, he's got the quickness, and hopefully he can show that he has the skill to try to make it.
Bob does remind all of us that Jake Haener was the Senior Bowl MVP last year. Good point.
Good point, Bob.
There's history there for us. Cole, you got anything on Lavelle Bailey and Carlton Johnson, or these Shrine/Senior Bowls?
You just reminded me they existed.
No, I think it's good, though, that the boys are playing and getting work in early and getting out there. And it's nice to remind everyone that Fresno State, hey, we're here. We still have our legit football program. We have good players. So, and we're going to have the defensive player of the year this year for sure, and Deron Bland. So, anything else in the football world, Caleb and Cole, that you have seen that you want to bring up?
Well, Jim Harbaugh didn't want the smoke Labor Day weekend this coming year, so I think that's a good sign for Fresno State, and it's pretty remarkable how many first or new head coaches Fresno State's going to be going up against this season. I think right now it's like 5 of the 12 games is going to be programmed with a new head coach, so I think that's good. But then again, Fresno State might also be in that boat too. So we will have to see when it gets closer to the football season. But I think that we have a chance against Michigan. Their defense is scary, but they lost a lot on offense. So I think we have a chance. And losing Harbaugh, which I think is a weapon for Michigan, losing him, I think that only helps Fresno State.
Do we have any dogs in the Super Bowl? Do you guys know? Playing?
I don't think so.
Nico, I know was with the Chiefs, Nico Remigio, but I don't know. I don't know if he's roster spot. I don't know if he's on the practice squad. I'm not exactly sure. Andrew's saying there's a chance. So you're saying there's a chance.
There is. There is.
Yeah. And yes, Bob says winter workout started for football last week. I saw a couple of videos of the guys getting hyped and lifting and things like that. So they're starting there. I will say about Michigan, I do think they made the best hire out there. I think they hired their OC, Sharon. Mm-hmm. If they wanted to keep their squad together, that was the hire, and they did that. And he also beat Ohio State. Granted, I don't know how much work he did to beat Ohio State. I don't know, but isn't he undefeated as a head coach when he stepped in for Harbaugh?
I think he was 4-0 this year. So, I mean, on Michigan's side, they got a trial run, with this guy as the head coach. So it was kind of the no-brainer hire, and definitely, like you said, to try to keep the roster together. So seems like probably the best hire they could have made, considering it was later in the cycle for their coach to step away.
Yeah, and Caleb, I'd like you to take a look at the chat while you can. We had a nice comment in there from Andrew. I think it's worthy of you reading out loud, actually. Okay. So when you get there, read it out loud. And, we could, but
Pletz finally picks a Bulldog blowout. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
There's a chance.
All right, let's move on to baseball. Real quick here, guys, on the roster. Well, I guess even before that, I got to talk to freshman outfielder Hunter Backstrom, and great kid, a lot of potential, speedy, quick guy. Excited to see his career in Fresno. And if you guys get a chance to listen to that, check out Hunter Backstrom. He did it with his friend Kai Nunley, who's on the rugby team. He would like to walk on and play for the Bulldogs. So we're trying to help him out, get his name out there, and speak it into existence, that roster spot. So Hunter Backstrom and Kai Nunley. So that's out right now. But looking at the roster, guys, a lot of young guys, a lot of local guys, but let's talk about the young guys that are returning. We have Murph Gray, who's a sophomore, who people are saying his bat is reminiscent of another stellar MLB player from Fresno State. Some people are actually saying that. I can't believe it, but I mean, I hope that's true. I mean, we watched some of it last year, and Murph can really swing the bat. He's got a lot of pop. And then,
yeah, I think this will be an interesting year for Murph. I know that Coach Overland mentioned it in an interview he did. I think it was last week, that sophomore year is kind of the statement year for a lot of players in college baseball, just because, freshman year, not really any tape or, history on the player. And, they're getting a lot of fastballs and, maybe not getting challenged as much as, a more experienced hitter. And so now, there's tape on Murph, and people know what he's capable of. And, he's going to have to be able to, have good approach at the plate and, be disciplined and, show them the maturity and, maybe not get away with maybe just, playing like a freshman. So it'll be interesting to see how he's able to elevate his game and, how much, coaching he's taken in over this last year.
Yeah, and Bob says, no pressure on Murph. You're only going to be compared to the AL MVP. And the home run leader. I enjoy watching him, though. I don't think there's any reason to compare. We shouldn't compare him. No pressure on you, Murph. You just go perform and go smack the ball. Guys, names that you will remember, and I'm talking about fielding players. Bobby Blandford was an outfielder last year. Marco Peruccello was playing. Rocco. A lot of pitchers. Ben Newton's back. Tyler Davis is back. Hopfy's back. Grady Morgan's back. And then not to mention all of our pitchers, not all of them, but a lot of them are back. Statzer's back. Acosta, Dixon. Scrolling through here. And
and obviously, this year Dogs have to get by without a big arm from last season. Eshawn Anderson getting picked by the Cardinals. So, the Friday night slot is wide open for someone to come and take it. So, is that going to be Noah Beal, the newcomer transfer from UNLV, who's from Clovis High, who's got a lot of experience, Mountain West baseball? Or is that going to be Jake Dixon, who, battled some injury last year, but, has been a weekend starter? And Jack Anchor looked really good last year, mostly kind of middle relief, but he has, he throws it hard, and he's somebody that I was looking forward to. And I think he's just a sophomore this year. I think he was a freshman last year. So, potentially a guy to step up and, take a weekend starter rotation along with Zach Stasser. He threw a lot of meaningful innings last year. So definitely lots of different guys in, the potential rotation there. So it'll be interesting to see, kind of what that is. Cause, for the last couple of years, we pretty much had the Friday night guy locked in. And so now that's wide open, and we'll see, at least on the pitching side where that is. I know, we still have Hoppy closing. So I think that's huge because, he was a rock star at the end of the games last year. I think he had 12 or 13 saves, which led the Mountain West. Huge to have him coming back.
Yeah. And, I missed the names that you said, Kill, but Ariola, Anchor, Cremarosa, a lot of guys coming back, and it's going to be fun. I'm excited for this baseball season. Cole, as a fan of the Bulldogs and someone who is very limited in their knowledge of the Bulldog baseball team, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I'm still here. First of all, thank you for noticing. I just want to know what the season outlook, projections, how the Mountain West is shaping up. Who's our biggest competition? Where are we compared to all the other teams in the Mountain West?
Well, that's a good question. I would say, generally, San Jose and San Diego State are both usually really strong competition. So I would say they are tough. One of the hard things about Mountain West baseball is I think there's only 7 teams. So, it's really tough. Really tight competition. Playing at Air Force is tough, like playing at elevation. UNLV usually puts together a competent team. Nevada, I don't really know where they're going to be at, so I would probably project that they're lower. And New Mexico usually has a bunch of big hitters. So it's a fun conference to watch in terms of competition, and also kind of wacky too, because if you get games at Air Force at elevation, they're playing games in the 20s, which is ridiculous. So I'd say Fresno State should project pretty high in conference this year. I haven't seen any conference projections yet, but just in terms of returning production, returning pitching, I think that this team is well suited. But also, transfer portal, teams change every year, and you kind of have to wait and see who actually steps up each year, and who's going to be the main competition.
Bulldogs Bob's mentions that this team should score a lot of runs. I believe that. He does have questions about the starting pitching after Dixon, which we're with you there. Young pitchers Anchor and Ariola need to step up. Yeah, they were very inconsistent last year. See one game, oh my goodness, this guy is the future. He looks good, and then the next game they hit around him, and it doesn't look good. He also has San Jose State should not be as good this year with all their COVID players gone. They had 2 guys last year that made 3 guys that just smoked the ball. I forget their names, but I'm glad I'm forgetting their names. Biggest problem with playing the Mountain West is all the teams that play in altitude. Yes. We when we go play away games, Cole, we're playing at high altitude, or we go to the beach where it's windy. And you got everyone should just come to Fresno. Yeah, everyone just come play in Fresno. It's perfect baseball weather all the time. Looking at, we talked about the schedule a little bit earlier in the year, but this coaching staff really put together a strong schedule. I mean, I don't know how much you want to look at, your record. I look at the boys' record, but they're going to be ready for Mountain West Conference play. I mean, we get a 3-game series against Fullerton. We're playing Irvine, and USC, which I believe we played them last year. I don't remember. But we're playing some strong teams that I'm excited to watch. We also sprinkle in Bakersfield, Sac State, Columbia, Pacific. So we actually start the season off at home against Milwaukee. But I'm excited, just bringing back the rivalry with Fullerton. I say bringing back. I speak with Steve Hosey, and they would fight against Fullerton. We got to bring back those not necessarily fighting, but just rivalries like that. And the Bulldogs Bob is with me. Love we're playing Fullerton for a series and have UC Irvine at home. We're also hosting Washington State for a series. Yes, so some bigger name schools coming in. And I appreciate what the coaching staff is doing. I like it. What are your guys' thoughts on the schedule?
Totally. Yeah. I think that's one of the fun things about baseball is that there's a lot of like midweek games and a lot of California teams that are just always looking to pick up games. And, there's not as much, I don't know, not maybe scheduling animosity is what I'm looking for with, Pac-12 teams not wanting to, schedule with Mountain West and so on. So I think that's one of the fun things about baseball. There's the Tuesday games that are, pretty much every week and a lot of fun and just really good competition in the conference too. So.
Yeah, I would love to see a fight.
You're gonna have to come to a game with us then, Cole. Sounds good. Cole signed up. All right. Is there anything else, you guys, that was on our outline that we need to cover? If not, I got it in front of me. I touched everything I wanted to talk about.
The only other thing we mentioned, Caleb, is we should touch on water polo, who is the hottest program right now for Fresno State. So I think you had mentioned their ranking, which I didn't write down. So where are we ranked nationally?
Okay, well, currently I don't know, but after our big wins over the past weekend at Fresno when we beat Michigan and Stanford, who was the number 1 team in the country. I don't know if you know this, Cole. We jumped up, I believe, to number 5 in the nation. And then we beat Princeton. And then we ended up losing to Hawaii. And Hawaii, while we were ranked number 5, Hawaii was ranked number 4. And I think we lost that game by just a couple goals. So, I mean, this team is going to compete for a national title. No doubt about it. When you're beating the big water polo schools like Stanford, there's no doubt about it. We're going to compete for a national championship. And I mean, we've said it. I think we said it 2 years ago, Caleb. This was going to be the next team to bring a national championship to Fresno State. I'm sticking with that, man. This team is legit, and girls all over the nation want to come play for Coach Benson.
And they're still going to lose to Fresno State $100,000 every year.
Maybe so. Then go to the games, Cole. You should go to the games. Buy tickets to the games.
I'm proud of the problem. I forgot. No, nothing against water. I love the water polo girls.
You play
Not
water
in that
polo,
way.
Cole.
Yeah, I did. Water polo is a lot of fun. No, I very much enjoy it.
And Caleb has been asking us to take him. So, Caleb, we will take you to a game and teach you the sport of water polo. Do you even need tickets for water polo? Good question, Bob. Probably not. Oh, man. We need to get Coach Benson on again and after the season and talk about it. Everybody will be fired up for water polo after that for sure, because Coach Benson is legit. She's a great gal, great coach, great person. So when is the next water polo game? Does anyone have that?
Oh, yeah, I have it on a tab. Pulled up right here, Caleb.
I'm pulling it up as we speak.
Hey, I did want to mention, hop back to basketball.
Please.
Briefly. The last podcast you and I did, Caleb, on basketball, I was drilling, who was it? Taylor Martinez. She's the sideline reporter on our home games for the Mountain West, on the Mountain West Network. And I couldn't hear her. Well, this time her mic was turned up. I could hear her loud and clear. Just thought I'd say, great job on turning the mic up.
Nice.
There you go. And good job saying something nice, Cole. I think that's good to own it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's an insult or not, but thank you.
All right, next water polo match where dogs are competing in the Triton Invite in La Jolla, California, this coming weekend. So February 2nd through the 4th. So they got a match up against Loyola Marymount and then a couple to be determined. So I have no idea how to watch that. Maybe is it on the Mountain West Network?
Don't know.
Probably not. Okay.
You're going to have to find out. Next home game, though, is February 16th against Fresno Pacific in the Fresno State Aquatic Center.
All right.
February 16th, 6 p.m. against Fresno Pacific. Women's volleyball. I think Bob meant volleyball. Yeah, I need to have the women's volleyball team on. I was scrambling at work today trying to get somebody on, and the best I could do was my brother.
I'll always be here for you, brother.
Thank you, Cole. I appreciate it. Caleb, thank you as always. We'll be back next week on Monday talking with Jackson Moore. We're going to be talking about the recruiting class, probably about the schedule, and we could pick his brain some more about what's going on in the Fresno State football world and see if he knows if Coach Tedford is doing better. I do know that he's been around and he has been recruiting. So Jeff Tedford looking like he's going to be here, but we don't here at Beware Bulldogs. We don't say anything for certain unless they tell us it's for certain.
Hey, he's going to be back and better than ever. His arteries are clean. I mean, he's going to be pumping good.
Good. We need to have Coach Tedford in the videos when they're running up and down the stairs. Coach Tedford needs to be with them. Now, he can walk, but cleaning out those arteries. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Cole and I, maybe Caleb, depending on if we all watch the games, we'll all jump on and talk basketball. We'll be talking basketball this upcoming week when the Dogs take on UNLV and Colorado State. So if you're around, check out what are those times, by the way? I have baseball and water polo pulled up, Cole. Where's your tab on basketball?
Oh, you're killing me, man.
UNLV, Tuesday. So that's tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Gotta love the late tip. And then Saturday, home game against Colorado State, 7 p.m. So a little bit more manageable, but still kind of late.
Party time Saturday night, baby, at the Save Mart Center. We'll see you there against Colorado State. All right. I'm going to sign off, guys. We good? Let's get out of here. Thank you guys for all your support. Stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. And as always, go Dogs.
Go Dogs.